I'm here with a few leaders from the St. John's Investment Club. If you guys would like to start by introducing yourselves.
I'm Thomas Michael.
I'm Yash Patel.
Dan Knowles, Jacob Knowles.
So we figured we'd start off with a simpler question here, but a lot more broad. What is the St. John's Investment Club?
So St. John's Investment Club, it's a club where we learn about the stock market, and we learn different ways you can invest, primarily in the stock market. And we do so through a game called Market Watch, where we all have a fake amount of money, and we can invest in real stocks and learn real investment strategies that we can use in the real world once we have enough money to invest in actual stocks.
Yeah, so like Tom said, we mainly focus on the stock market, but right now we were doing interviews for next year's leaders, and what we're looking to do is try to broaden what we do research on and what we learn about. So we were looking into real estate investing, cryptocurrencies, options trading, and etc.
What initially drew you all to the investment club, and what continues to excite you about investing?
So for me, our freshman year, we had big reds. Obviously this year, because of the pandemic, that wasn't a possibility, but it'll probably be coming back next year. But for me, one of my big reds was the senior leader for the investment club. And so I started going to it probably week one, I think. And then I was also interested before coming into St. John's because my brother had been part of the investment club at his school. But I primarily went because of like the senior leader. Other kids told me to, it'd be interesting. And at the time when you're a freshman, you haven't been part of the community yet, so it's good to get yourself out there. Try to join things, see what you like, what you don't like. And then what continues, I like investing because it's like always changing. There's different markets. So right now cryptocurrency is pretty big. And then like stocks that Reddit's been focusing on, so like GameStop, AMC. And then before the pandemic, like the travel market was pretty big. So like airline companies, hotel companies, cruise companies. And so everything's always changing. So it's pretty interesting. And then also like stocks like GameStop, AMC, like they're really volatile. So you can make a lot of money on them if you learn how to invest in them properly.
What takeaways do you all gain from being a part of the investment club? And what takeaways can you gain outside of directly involving investing?
So one of the biggest takeaways from being in the investment club for the past 4 years is like how to put money that you earn back into something that will, I guess, get you more money without like actually having to go out and work for it, which is a really nice thing to have. Like you can be working and your money is still like increasing because of the stock market if you know how to invest it correctly.
So outside of directly investing, I would say it's just been nice to be part of like a bigger community. So our game right now has over 150 people, and so it's fun to be in like a competition with other students from every single grade around the school. And 150 is like more than, I would say, like a tenth of the school. And so it's just fun being in a competitive like game with other kids. And then obviously like at the end of the year we have prizes for kids who win the game. And so there's some motivation in that. And then I would also say, so we started like a hedge fund this year. And so it's like $5 million in the account on the game, and it's like good for teamwork, I would say, because we all have to work together to decide what stocks we want to buy and what would make us the most money in that specific portfolio.
How have the recent fluctuations in the stock market affected the importance of being in your club?
Well, I think it's important to learn how to invest no matter what time it is in the market. I mean, investing is always a useful skill. Particularly now, I mean,
a lot more people are jumping into the market, especially because of GameStop. So I think it's important for early investors to come to the investment club and start sort of like learn the basics of investing, just so they don't make like a terrible decision, you know?
What insight do you have to give fellow students that are looking up investing that the internet can't?
Well, I feel like the internet already has a lot of stuff, but I feel like the club itself can provide the aspect of like teamwork and learning as a group. So like at club meetings, we're able to bounce ideas off of each other. Like we can have like debates on whether certain stocks are good to buy in the game or not. And yeah, it's just overall better for learning with peers. And then by learning with peers, you can grow like your investing knowledge much quicker. And then also with Mr. Berger there, we have a adult who's been doing this for like whatever 35 years, and so he's very like calm and collected about his decisions in the stock market, and so being able to take away that from him is pretty important, whereas on the internet you don't have that interaction with someone directly in person that you have at the club.
How has the stock market changed as of late?
Well, obviously, stocks are like an unprecedented high. Like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, freshman year, the question was like, all right, these stocks are pretty high. They've got to fall soon. And then 4 years later, I mean, they're still climbing to even higher prices. And so compared to like past years, it's completely different than it's ever been. With the pandemic, people have more time on their hands. So you see a huge influx of new investors with nothing else to do. So you might as well invest in the stock market. And additionally, with like GameStop and the rise of Wall Street bets, there's definitely an influx of newer investors that are definitely changing the way investing has been done in the past.
What advice do you have to give to any underclassmen thinking about joining the club?
Do it, honestly. It's a really good learning experience for people who are trying to make money. Especially if like you're going into something to do with finance or business, it's a really good skill to start building on now. And if you are going into one of those degrees and you can put investment club or even investment club leader on that college resume, then it'll look really good to them.
What's your view for the future of the investment club?
So right now and for the past few years, the investment club's been heavily based on learning about the stock market, and it's been very relaxed. Usually kids just join the stock market game on Market Watch, and then there's only about 10 kids coming to the meetings weekly, even though there's about 150 kids in the game. And so what we want to do with next year's leaders is try and make the engagement for the weekly meetings higher. Probably have more kids coming in, and then with the pandemic hopefully out of the way, we'll obviously have more space, because right now we're limited to I think 30 kids in the room that we're using. And we also want to expand into other areas of investing, and so real estate, like I said earlier, I think that's pretty important, because eventually everyone will be looking to buy a house or rent a place once they're done with college. And then also looking into areas like cryptocurrency, where it's really volatile, but there's also opportunity for the future, and a lot of investors are saying that it could be the future of currency for the whole world, and so we want to look towards the future in that. So yeah.
And finally, what would you say to anybody looking to join the club?
Do it.